So set that aside for a moment and we will get your pieces for page 2. Piece 2 measurements are as follows. 2 A pieces that are 4.5 by 11. 4 B pieces that are 3 3/4 by 4 3/4. 4 of those. C is 4 3/4 by 9 1/8. D is 6.5 by 8. And E is 4.5 by 8. Okay, so get your scoreboard. Piece A. We are going to score piece A at a half, at 3/4, at 4 3/4, 4 7/8, 8 7/8, and 9. Okay, so you've got 3 gussets. One is a 1/4 inch, the other 2 are 1/8 of an inch. Okay. Okay, so do both of your A pieces like that. So 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch, 4 7/8, or sorry, 4 3/4, then 4 7/8, 8 7/8, and 9. Okay, so both of your A pieces like that. Your B pieces, all 4 of them, will be scored at half on the 4 3/4 inch side. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Piece C will be scored at half on the 4 3/4 inch side. Okay, and then rotate it 90 degrees. That score line you just did is now at the top. It could be at the bottom too, it actually doesn't really matter. So just as long as it's on the 9 1/8 side now, and then we're going to score again at half. Oops. And at 8 5/8. Okay, that's your C piece. D will be scored at half on the 6.5 inch side. Oh my goodness, Katya. And E will be scored at half on the 4.5 inch side. Okay, so that is all the scoring. Put your scoreboard away for now. Grab all your pieces and your score tape, and we're going to add score tape to all those 1/2 inch sections. Remember to leave that little gap between the adhesive and the score line itself. The only time that it doesn't matter that you're going over a score line is on a pocket, such as your C piece, because we're just going to be cutting off. See, I've gone over the score line right here, but we're just going to be cutting that off anyway, so that's why it doesn't matter. All your B's here. And on your A's, the only part that gets score tape is this 1/2 inch section at the beginning. Okay, nothing else. And remember, I hope everyone's put it on the valley side, always the valley side. Okay, now we can miter our corners. Okay, so just cutting the corners that have score tape. There's A. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is just to make a neater crease. You can't see this extra bit, but you won't be able to tell if it's not absolutely perfect. See, that one was a little bit overkill right there. Okay, and then the C piece. These two edges, and then at the corners kind of go in at an angle and out at an angle. I mean, you can cut just straight across as well, like that. If you prefer, you can just cut straight across instead of doing that little bit of an angle thing. I just find that doing it this way gives a little bit more, so these adhere when you're folding them back. This way they have just a little bit more to catch onto on each other. But it's not the biggest deal. I hope that made sense. I feel like maybe that didn't make sense. So in the pockets, I always fold in the sides first, and then I fold the bottom up. And that way, just at these two corners where they kind of intersect, they overlap just a little bit so that this bottom part adheres just a little bit to the sides, and that creates a really smooth channel. Whereas if you put the bottom first and then the sides, sometimes the tags can get caught on that part, so doing it the other way just creates a smoother channel. And I find if you go in at an angle and out at an angle, it just gives you a little bit more of an overlap. But in this case, it doesn't really look like it's doing that. So either way is fine, straight across or in at an angle, out at an angle, your choice. Get rid of our biddies. Now we will use that same base page that we were using. We're just going to flip it over. Okay, so now your Tyvek covered sections are on the right hand side. Sorry, excuse me. Now by now, oh, I missed the, we should have fold, let's fold and crease first. Fold and crease, fold and crease. And as per usual, I've lost my bone folder. That's a vast part of the reason why I don't always use it, is because I lose it so often. Ta-da! Found it! Okay. So I'm going to fold and crease all of these off camera because it is going to take just a couple minutes. Okay, and when I come back we will start putting all of this together, okay? Okay, so once you have everything scored and, or sorry, once you have everything like folded and creased and all that, we are going to take our two A pieces and put them on either side of the base page. They should meet perfectly right in the middle. All right, and you will have 1.5 inches at the top and the bottom. I'm going to eyeball it, but if you want to, you can take a ruler and make a little mark at 1.5 here, and then that would be here, so 1.5 on either side, and that way sorry, 1.5 on either side, and then you know exactly where to put it. Okay, so remove the score tape backing, and we're going to adhere it right to the edge. Okay, so just like that, and then the other one will line up with the first one. Well, I think I might have gotten that a tiny bit crooked, but I think it's workable. Yeah, it's workable. Okay, fantastic. So that is that. And now your B pieces, are going to go on the inside of your A pieces. So open up your A's like that. Alright, so you have options. You can put the B pieces in however you want, actually. I have got them so that this B piece here will open down and this one will open up. However, you can do it the opposite way. You can have them both going up, both going down. You can have them both on the same thing, one going up, one going down, and nothing on this one. You can do it however you want, or put them on this one. Seriously, however you want to do it, that is totally up to you. So many variations on that front. I am personally going to do it this way, where this one is going to open down and this other one is going to open up, but please feel free to adhere these however your little heart desires. Okay, and then on the other side I'm going to do it the opposite way. So I mean, not opposite, but like mirrored. So this one on the bottom. And this one at the top. Okay, just like that. And now we are going to put our C piece at the bottom of the base page here. So fold in your sides and remove the tape backing. Okay, and then fold that bottom part in, and it'll just adhere just a smidgy at the corners there, and then remove that piece, and then this goes right at the bottom of your base page. Line it all up. Make sure it doesn't go over any score lines. You want to make sure that these still fold properly. Okay, so now you've got pocket right there. Now your D piece, this one here, is going to go to the top of your base page. Okay, so right at the top everything is still open. Okay, there we go. That's D, and then your last piece, your E piece, is going to go onto your pocket, opening down. So it's going to go onto the bottom of your pocket, okay? So it opens down just like that. Okay, so there's E, C pocket, D, and then your A's and your B's. Alright, so it is magnet time. Alright, so what we're going to do is first we're going to add magnets closing the B's to the A piece. Alright, so depending on how you have configured your B's will determine how you're going to put your magnets on, but as long as the A's and the B's somehow close. So I'm going to be putting my magnet sandwiches onto the top parts of the B's. I guess it's bottom on this one. Okay, so I've got 4 places where there's score tape, here and here, and here and here. Okay, so now I'm going to remove those little bits of score tape and then add the magnets to each of those. So 2 magnets over each of those pieces of score tape. And then more score tape. Now I do use a lot of magnets. I really love these little things, so I do use a lot, and I buy them in bulk. If you don't want to use this many magnets, not every single thing needs a magnet. It's true. I just really like them. You can also use swing tabs. You can use, a lot of people I've seen in the past have used Velcro. You can, a lot of things can get away without any kind of closure at all, and they'll just kind of like flop open a little bit. Or you can use ribbon ties, or what else can we do? There's so many options. So if you feel that I'm using too many magnets, then you don't have to use a magnet every single place that I put one. I just really like them. Something about the snap of the closure is really satisfying to me. Alright, so close all of those up. And now they are all adhered with magnets. See, isn't it? It's just so satisfying, that snap. Okay, now we are going to use magnets to close the E to the C piece. So I'm going to use 2 magnets here. You can probably get away with just one, but I'm going to use one on either side so it's kind of evenly distributed. And now normally I would put the magnets right about here, but I'm going to put them just a little bit in on this particular piece, and you're going to see why. In fact, maybe just even a little bit more in than that even. So I'm going to put them a little bit inwards, and you're going to see why in just a minute. There is a reason. So remove the backing, and we'll put 2 magnets on each of these. Okay, and then 2 more pieces of score tape. Okay, and now remove the backing. And then close that up. Okay, and now that's done. So now to save some magnets, we're going to use the magnets that we just put down again to close D. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a magnet and just let it find its counterpart. Okay, so there's no score tape there yet. There's just 2 magnets just adhered to, or just magnetized to their buddies. We're going to put a little bit more score tape on top of each of those, and then remove the backing. Okay, and then close down D. Okay, so now the magnets that we just used to close E and C together are working again to close D. And now we're going to do the same thing. We are going to let 2 magnets just find their buddies on top of D, and then put more score tape. So this is just saving us a few magnets by making them work by closing more than, using the same magnets to close more than one thing. And we're going to remove the backing. And then we are going to close your AB pieces. Okay, so there you go. You've got your second page all closed up nice and neat, and now we can add our pattern paper. So I'm going to get all of those together. I might do one more magnetized swing tab on this as well, just because one magnet doesn't seem to be quite enough. So I might do an extra something closing these two pieces together, I think. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Okay, so I'm going to get all my pieces together, my pattern paper, and I'll be right back. Okay, so let's decorate page 2. So I'm going to do a magnetized swing tab here, like I said. So I've chosen this little You Are My Sunshine chipboard piece. So I'm just going to ink it a little bit around the edges. Okay, and now I'm going to put a magnet on the back of it. So I'm going to have it swinging this way. So we're going to have the magnet here, and I'm going to punch a hole on this side. So first, I want to put a magnet. So a little piece of score tape. Just one magnet. And now I want to put this onto some cardstock. So I'm just going to put some adhesive on here. You can use whatever kind of adhesive you so desire. Just a little bit more up here. Okay. Oops. Okay, so put this on some cardstock. Just got some scrap cardstock here. And then we are going to cut around it. Okay, so I've just cut around it. There's some black cardstock on the back. The magnet is right here. So now I'm going to punch a hole in this side. Okay, so there's my hole. Now I've got this piece, this side, this piece of paper is glued down, this side is not, because we are going to put our let another magnet just attach like that and put a tiny piece of score tape on it. Remove the backing. Okay, and now we are going to figure out exactly where we want this to go. Right about there in the center. Okay, and then with a pen or a marker or something, make a little mark in this piece of paper so you know where to punch the corresponding hole. So your magnet is now adhered. Now you're going to open this up. Make sure none of your other papers are in the way, so open it right up and punch, punch a hole right there where you've made your mark. Okay, and now you can get a brad and attach your chipboard piece through that hole. There we go. And then open up the tines. Okay, so there we go. You've got your magnetized swing tab. Right, now we can start adding our other pieces of paper. Okay. And then open these up. And decide. I was thinking I might do a little bit of stamping on these, so I might not add these two pieces quite yet. I think I'm going to stamp. It's easier to stamp things when they're not attached because then they're on a really flat surface. So I'm going to leave these two pieces for now and try to decide what I'm doing with them. And I'll continue on adding pieces. Okay, so I've got the two sides kind of mirroring each other, and I'm just trying to decide whether I want to do stripe or indecisive on this point, if I want to go orange for both or if I should do one of them stripes. Oh, decisions. Okay, leave that for a second and open these up so I know that I'm going to have journaling spots here and here. Okay, so finally made up my mind. So I'm going to stick with the here. We're going to do some stamping on that. They're just temporarily adhered. The flowers here, orange and then stripes. On the inside, the journaling spots here, this blue here, and then I'm going to go with the stripes, but it wasn't quite long enough, so my solution is to just put a stripe here, an extra stripe of blue. So that is my solution. So I'm going to put this one down first. Okay, and then I'll just put this little stripe down. So you can, I mean, by the time I'm through, I literally am working with just scraps of paper because these albums do take a lot of paper. So there's always ways to work with the scraps. I mean, cut stripes, cut borders, you know, like do things like that, you know, I don't throw any of my paper away right until the end. I try and use as much of the paper as possible. Okay, and I'll put it on this side, line it up. Okay, so just like that. And now, so I've got the flowered paper on these portions, and then here's another example. I didn't have quite enough for the stripes, so I added a piece of the flower down here, more flower here. I'm going to go with the stripes to keep that cohesive. So let's add those. Okay, and then this needs to be put down. Now if you ever have any adhesive that is sticking over, you can just kind of use your finger to tuck it back. Okay. And then this is the pocket piece. You want to make sure that any piece that you put inside a pocket goes in at least around 1 inch, just so there's a little bit inside the pocket so you can't see where it stops. Now I do the patterned paper for each page, and then minimal embellishing, like if there's any swing tabs, that kind of thing. But then at the end I see what paper I have left, and that's when I do my inserts for the pockets and all the like extra embellishing. I wait until the end and then see what I have left and do it then. Alright, so that is page 2. Alright, so now we can set this aside and we will get our pieces that we need for page 3.